Strange encounters, mysterious apparitions, the unknown. These have intrigued the human race as far back as anyone can remember. It exists in almost every nation, culture, and certainly cannot be separated from Asian folklore. Do you believe in the paranormal? I am Wraith. Welcome to my podcast. The Yamamba. In Japanese mythology, the Yamamba look like harmless old women, but are actually terrifying mountain ghosts that consume human flesh. Let's get to know the Yamamba in the following story. One evening, a Buddhist priest was walking in the jungle to collect water from a well far from the temple. Everything was fine until it suddenly rained. The rain and the evening sky made everything around him quiet and gloomy. He looked around for a shelter, but to no avail. As he was about to lose hope, far in the distance, he saw a lonely hut. It looked dilapidated, but from the light that was visible from the window, he knew it was occupied. He quickly made his way to the hut, hoping that the tenants would provide him shelter. When he knocked on the door, a kind old woman invited him inside. She welcomed him with food and a warm fire. As welcoming as she was, she gave the priest a strange warning.
No matter what, do not look in the back room.
She continued serving him, constantly adding wood to the fireplace to keep the room warm, but she did not talk much. As the priest ate, many thoughts came to him. He was intrigued by the room in the back more so after the warning by the old woman. Soon, the rain stopped. He thought of leaving, but something made him unwilling to go yet. He wanted to find out what was in the room. But how? Soon, the fire was getting dimmer as more wood was needed. The old lady said,
I need to go and get more wood, but you wait a while. I will be back soon.
The priest thought that this was the opportunity he needed.
Sure, I'll wait for you.
As soon as she stepped out to gather more firewood, the priest, unable to overcome his curiosity, failed to heed the old woman's warning. He peeped through a crack in the door, and to his horror, he discovered the room filled with half-eaten corpses. The priest realized that the old woman was a Yamamba, luring unsuspecting travelers into her home, only to shred them to pieces for her next meal. The priest started chanting prayers and quickly made his way to the door. Before he could reach the door, all of a sudden, the fire from the fireplace went out. The house became totally dark. He could see nothing. Slowly, he walked while his hands waved around in front of him, feeling his way out. He was hoping to reach for the door. It was total silence except for the sound of crickets. Suddenly, there was a loud sound from the door. Someone or something has locked him from outside. As soon as that happened, he heard whispers, as if many people were whispering to one another, softly but clearly. Through the cacophony of sounds, he could not make out what they were saying. It seemed to come from the room at the back of the house, the very room he had taken a look at earlier. By now, his heart was beating rapidly. Then another sound came, this time as though someone was opening the door to the back room. The whispers got louder and louder this time. He could hear the sound of footsteps and sounds of people dragging themselves across the floor. In a panic state, he ran around in the dark, falling over tables and breaking housewares. He hoped to find a window to get out quickly. Suddenly, he tripped and fell into a pool of liquid with a loud thud. He was overcome by the foulest smell he had ever smelt in his life. What was it? He tried to get up, but a pair of hands was pulling him down. It got stronger and stronger, and suddenly, pain overcame him like sharp knives cutting his legs. He shouted in pain. In the dim light of the moon, he realized that the knives were actually long, sharp fingernails. He looked further, even though in pain, he looked further and further, trying to make out what it was. And as he tried to make out the figure, to his horror, it was the same old woman. Her hair was long and all over the place. He could see her red and black, razor-sharp teeth. 2 tiny horns protrude out of her head, her tongue long and wagging, wet with blood. She pulled him down, and even though in pain, he was too horrified to scream further. Slowly, the old woman made her way up and soon towered over him. With a sickening, piercing laughter, she broke the quiet night. The priest slowly regained his composure. He tried to run, and in the middle of the night, his scream could be heard throughout the jungle. The priest was never seen again. What do you think happened to the priest? Is this a true story, or is it just a legend passed down from one generation to the next? We will never know.